Heads up everyone, it is Friday, October 16th, 2015. My name is Quinn. Welcome to the very first inaugural episode of Heads Up Good Luck. Today I'd like to take just a couple minutes to talk to you about poor life choices. I know that sounds kind of like a broad subject. You know, we've all made poor life choices in the past. We will continue to make poor life choices in the future. That's how we learn. Just as an example, I made a poor life choice today by choosing to wear my pajama pants during filming, which is not terribly professional looking, but I hope that you can find it in your hearts to forgive me as time goes on. Anyway, getting back on track. In the interest of exploring this subject matter, I've dug up a couple of stories that I found pretty interesting. Now, I'm going to give you a warning right off the bat. Both of these stories kind of sound crazy, but as out there as they are, I can assure you that they are 100% verifiably, indubitably true. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to start with the auntie in New York City who thought it would be reasonable to sue her 12-year-old nephew for $127,000. Now this woman, Jennifer Connell, believes that her little nephew Sean, who is now 12, owes her in excess of $127,000 for breaking her wrist with a tackle-hug type maneuver at his birthday party in 2011. Now, Sean was 8 years old at the time. He weighed about 50 pounds. Sean, who was very excited to see his auntie, hurled himself at a high speed towards her when she made her appearance at his party, while shouting various phrases of affection at her in her general direction. He made contact with her, and with his tackle-hug maneuver, broke her wrist. Now, it was clearly an accident, but, you know, after thinking about it for a little while, Jennifer decided that it was negligence and that the boy should have known what he was doing and should have been aware that hurtling himself through the air like a Scud missile was going to hurt somebody. So she decided after the fact that it was worthy of a lawsuit. Now, she is quoted as saying, "It was his birthday party and I didn't want to upset him," when she was asked why she didn't simply approach the boy and his parents and explain what had happened. That it was his birthday party, she did not want to upset him. So my first question is, you know, was it a better idea? Was it indeed a more just thing to do to wait until after the party to serve him with a lawsuit, thereby not upsetting him at the party but doing so afterwards where it would cause less emotional damage to him? Who knows? In court, she was asked about her grievances over the issue, and she said, and I quote, "I was at a party recently and it was difficult to hold my hors d'oeuvre plate." Among the charges, injury, negligence. She claims that her wrist injury wrecked her social life and made it difficult to maneuver around Manhattan. Now, it only took the jury about 25 minutes to decide that, nah, we're probably not going to ask the 12-year-old to pay $127,000. But I don't want it to seem like I'm mean-spirited, and I do think that Jennifer has a bit of a grievance. So in the interest of fairness and in showing both sides of the story, despite the fact that I do think she made a poor life choice in choosing to sue her adolescent nephew, I have obtained some previously unreleased footage of Jennifer documenting her struggles trying to get around Manhattan with her grisly wrist injury, and I'd like to show it to you right now.
Oh! This plate of hors d'oeuvres is extremely heavy. I wish my wrist wasn't broken. It's seriously affecting my ability to social life. My hors d'oeuvres! My hors d'oeuvres! My hors d'oeuvres! How's anybody supposed to get around Manhattan when I can't open any doors? I
So as you can see, I don't think that Jennifer is without, deserves no sympathy. I understand her being upset. I don't think it was worth $127,000, especially against a 12-year-old. I will say, though, that Jennifer is the first person in my life to have ever convinced me that hashtag the struggle is real. Now, I did hear through the grapevine that the branches of the U.S. military are considering adding Sean's tackle hug maneuver into the military combat training, hand-to-hand combat training, because it is indeed so effective at breaking the wrist of a potential assailant. Now, in case you are under the belief that poor life choices are only limited to Americans, I've got some good news for the U.S. of A. That's not the case. Poor life choices are indeed something that happen all over the world. The next story comes from China. Specifically, the Chinese airline industry. Kunming Airlines over in China was caught hazing its female employees by forcing them to lay or be stuffed into the overhead storage compartment bins. Now, it's funny because the flight attendant job career choice in China is considered very prominent, so much so that there are thousands of applicants every time a position opens. Even though the flight attendancy industry in China has a well-documented history of abuse. For example, other than Kunming Airlines forcing its female flight attendants to lay in the overhead storage compartments, China Southern Airlines says that in order to be accepted or considered even for the position of flight attendant, you can not be any older than 24 and you must be above average height, which seems oddly specific until you realize that if you take the higher road and apply with Hong Kong Airlines instead, they will insist that you have to be a Kung Fu master. Now that sounds like a ridiculously bad stereotype from a horrible movie making fun of Asian culture, but it's the truth. They want you to be a master of Kung Fu. Now I'm not sure if this means that you have like a Kung Fu match or you have to like spar with somebody when you're applying, which, believe it or not, I think would actually be kind of cool. Like, in order to become a flight attendant on our airline, you must first prove that you can roundhouse kick this potential assailant coming at you in the head. Knock him out 3 seconds, or you will not be considered for the position. I think that'd be kind of cool. In fact, I think now would be a good time to take a look at what applying for a position with Hong Kong Airlines might look like, specifically with demonstrating your martial arts prowess.
Hello, I wish to apply to be a flight attendant. Do you know Kung Fu? Yes.
Okay, now I understand that the clip you just watched may have seemed a little unsettling, but I can assure you that no Chinese airport workers were harmed in the making of that footage. So, I hope this has shed a little bit of light on poor life choices. Obviously, 10 minutes isn't a great deal of time to explore the entirety of something like that. I mean, poor life choices are being made constantly. In addition to suing your nephew, if you can't handle his hugs when he's 8 and weighs 50 pounds, will you really be equipped later in your life to deal with it when he is 35 and weighs 180 pounds? Especially after the military has adopted his tackle hug maneuver as the predominant form of hand-to-hand combat style in the military. And, on the flip side, across the pond, what happens the day the female flight attendant on the Chinese airplane decides to stuff you inside the overhead storage compartment bin instead? These are questions we may never actually get the answers to, but, it's what goes on. Life choices. Poor life choices and smart life choices. I hope after seeing some of these, hearing some of these stories, maybe you will elect to make a wiser decision next time you are confronted with a situation such as hugging somebody or being asked to lay inside of a storage compartment or a storage item of any kind. So before I end the video, I'd like to share some words of wisdom for you for the rest of your day. And of course, we will need the special box. Today's words of wisdom, because you know the video just wouldn't be complete without some false sense of educational value. Today's words of wisdom: just because you're paranoid, that doesn't mean they're not after you. So, thank you for watching, sharing, and interacting with this video. Please remember to always keep fighting. And don't forget, no matter what it is that you have planned for the rest of your day, good luck.